Moonraker by Ian Fleming, narrated by Bill Nighy. The first thing to note is that the book and the film have only the title and the name of the character Hugo Drax in common. The story is completely unrelated, so if you're hoping for the film in novel format, you'll be disappointed. That said, I think the book is leaps and bounds ahead of the film. In fact, this is a great film waiting to be made, and it's surprising it hasn't been done. Another thing to note, Moonraker is the only Bond novel to be set entirely in England. Moonraker is the third Bond novel and is set during the Cold War and begins with M asking Bond to investigate Sir Hugo Drax, a wealthy industrialist and national hero. He is suspected of cheating at cards at M's Gentleman's Club, and obviously a man who cheats at cards can't be trusted. Never mind he's a foreigner and calls himself Sir. Anyway, Drax is building Britain's first nuclear missile, the Moonraker, ostensibly to defend the country. Bond infiltrates Drax's organization and teams up with Gala Brand, a special branch officer undercover as Drax's assistant. Together they discover that A. Drax is actually a German ex-Nazi working for the Soviets, and B. This obviously can only mean one thing. The Moonraker rocket is programmed to destroy London, not defend it. After attempts on their lives, and after a little skinny dipping, Bond and Brand are captured but manage to escape just before the missile launch. Bond redirects the missile to hit a Soviet submarine carrying Drax and his henchmen, saving London. What a hero. If you can suffer through the first 2.5 hours, this becomes a great audiobook. In those first 2.5 hours, however, you have to listen to a flat reading of basically a card game. Fleming loved writing about card games for some reason, and I dare say some people love listening to descriptions of card hands, but I don't. Once that's out of the way, however, the story picks up pace, and the reading of the story improves as well. As a basic narrator, I'm afraid that Nighy's performance is lacking. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what is wrong, but whatever other narrators have, he doesn't. Is it too measured? Is he focusing too much on how he says things rather than what he says? I don't know, but it's not quite right. On the other hand, his acting of the characters, with the exception of Bond, is top-notch, and he really brings everyone to life. His reading of Bond doesn't quite hit the mark with me, however. His voice is too soft. Bond needs a harder edge. And one little niggle. He pronounces the word secretary as secretary twice. This is a real bugbear of mine and almost makes me want to take a star off his performance, bringing it down to 3. He does pronounce it properly once, though. Towards the end, Nighy's efforts as a narrator improve, perhaps because the story is gaining momentum. However, the story itself stumbles a little when Drax explains the whole reason behind everything. I would much have preferred this to be an exciting prologue rather than this monologue, which disrupts the pacing of what had been building up to be an exciting ending. Would I listen to another book written by Ian Fleming? Yes. Would I listen to another book narrated by Bill Nighy? Probably not. All in all, I'd give the book a 4 out of 5 and the narrator a 4 out of 5 as well. How about you? Have you listened to the story or any of the other Bond novels? Which is your favorite? Do you have a favorite narrator? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as I release a new review every week. Thanks for watching.